tree before me is birch tree. Birch trees are known to Indians as Bhojpatra because the tree's bark was used for writing manuscripts by the Indians in the early ages. But diversity in the birches is mind-boggling, especially in North America. Whereas in India we have over 2 species. In the western Himalayas and Jammu and Kashmir, the more common Betula species is Betula utilis. And because of its use as paper, that tree got its species name as utilis. In Kashmiri, name is Burja or Burjkul, and there is a Burj Homa, ancient habitation near Dachigam National Park. Burja has remained associated with early man as fuel wood, as bandage after injury, as fuel wood, as it is quite flammable material, and it's easily peeled bark was used as shelter sheets for protection against the chill and snow, and that Burj Homa is witness to that early cultural significance of Bhojpatra in Indian context. But the tree before me, which how now I am focusing, which has the yellow leaves as it is the season of autumn, and bark is unlike our Indian species. This Betula is river birch, also named as black birch, and it has pinkish bark, and even you can see one squirrel is also on this birch tree trunk right now, but it has pinkish tinge, and this is not exfoliated in long thin paper-like bark as we find in Indian species Betula utilis, but here irregular kind of exfoliated bark having grayish, dark grayish look. There is another Betula nearby which is still green. Its leaves are not yellow so far, but not only its leaves are still green, but even its bark, tree trunk color is white, but it is not showing any exfoliations. And this is white American birch, and also known as American paper birch. And this particular tree species is Betula papyrifera, because it in mature specimens it also exfoliates like Indian Betula utilis. But since here planted birches, they are of middle age, younger age, we don't find that exfoliated paper-like bark right now. So looking at the bark of black birch, you see the distinctness, and then you look toward this bark which is white and looks more like poplar. But here you will see the lenticels. Lenticels are very prominently exhibited on the bark of this particular Betula. These white horizontal elongated lenticels are quite evident, and this is the Betula populifolia, not papyrifera. I was wrong. So it has poplar-like look. It is not a papyrifera. Papyrifera should have the paper-like exfoliating bark, but here we don't find. It is more like a poplar. And this is populifolia. Poplar leaf birch, are also named as white spire grey birch. So this is not paper birch, this is grey birch. White spire grey birch, Betula populifolia, white spire, and its leaves are looking like Populus tremulidis. It has long petiole and leaves are flickering or waving in the wind breeze, as it has the long petiole like people, Ficus religiosa. So longer petiole helps it in faster movements when wind blows. So this is grey birch, Betula populifolia. But here in case of black birch, petiole is not that long. Petiole is much smaller, and leaf is more or less it is ovate. But in case of grey birch, it is triangular. So this one is also black birch, also named as swamp birch, as it has adaptation to resist the waterlogging, and it can grow well in swamps. So its another name is swamp birch. It's a huge tree, and if we look closely, this is the leaf of Betula nigra, river birch, swamp birch, black birch. It tolerates heat, so it can be grown in southern Northern America, in Florida also. Margin is doubly serrate. And unique thing is that each side vein terminates into a sharp tooth, which is very clearly seen in this leaf. Each midrib is there, and then side veins. Each side vein, main side vein, terminates into a leaf tooth. But in case of Betula populifolia, where the petiole is quite long, leaf shape is different. You see the At base there is no serration, no tooth. There are straight at the base. Then there is serrations and long tail. It looks like a miniature poplar leaf. So it has been named as Betula populifolia. Frost, Safeda. So leaf shape has significance in naming this Betula as Betula populifolia. Grey birch. So if you compare two leaves together, you will be able to see the difference. Left one is Betula nigra leaf, whereas the right one is Betula populifolia. See the serrations, tail. So this egg-shaped stuck leaf, lamina in case of Betula nigra, but rhomboidal and with a distinct tail in case of Betula populifolia. These leaves will turn golden yellow, and at the top they have started becoming yellow as autumn is progressing. So this is the grove of birches. Two species I have just seen. One is Betula nigra, this one Betula nigra, and that was Betula populifolia. Third species which also seen in this tree grove, and this is distinct from the two species.
Он на площадке, на пляже бегает, еще похлеще, как это. Похлеще, чем здесь, намного больше там расстояние.
This is yellow birch and named as Betula allegheniensis. It is like a rosaceous tree, as if you look to the bark, it is unlike Bhojpatra, unlike Betula, and it gives a look as if it is some prunus species. But it also has horizontal lenticels, and if you examine its leaf, it looks like this. So this is the leaf of Betula allegheniensis. Now if you compare the three leaves together of three Betula species, this one is yellow birch leaf, yellow birch, Betula allegheniensis, native to northeastern America. This is Betula nigra, and this one is Betula populifolia. So even leaf can help in deciding which particular Betula it is. More green, deep green, elliptic leaf, double serrations, light green, egg shaped, This is not elliptic. This one is Bitula nigra, and here it is more rhomboidal with a long stalk. Here stalk is smaller, here of medium length. It is the longest leaf stalk. So looking at the three leaves, you can distinguish the three species. Bitula eleganensis has the yellow birch bark, so it is named as yellow birch. And this one is called black birch. And third one, this one is called as grey birch. So three species, they are growing side by side. Though this species eleganensis is much exploited in timber industry, because this wood of Bitula eleganensis has superior qualities for woodworking, and mostly in America this particular timber extracted from Bitula eleganensis yellow birch is sold in the market. But wood of this nigra is not good, as it has many knots and is not prized wood. Similarly, the wood of papulifolia is also not that prized. So out of these three species, Bitula eleganensis yellow birch, Bitula nigra black birch, a river birch, a swamp birch, and this papulifolia, that is grey birch. This birch is useful in timber industry. Leaves appear in spring, and before leaves appear, you will also see the catkins, male catkins and female catkins. Male catkins are tail-like, they grow 2-3 together, and they are pendulous, as we find in Indian species Bitula utilis. Female catkins are erect, and they ultimately mature. This Bitula nigra, seed maturation takes place in spring, but in case of other two species, eleganensis as well as papulifolia, it is the fall season, during the autumn season, and seeds are winged in all the Bitula species. So you can examine the hanging pendulous male catkins and erect female catkins in Bitula eleganensis, and new male cones have also started appearing, and they are going the process of development, maturation. Bitula or birches, they are very near relatives of elders, that is Alnus nitida, champ or prak we call in Jammu and Kashmir. Alnus nepalensis is another species found in Himalayas. But in case of Alnus, the female catkin becomes woody and looks like conifer cone. So this trait distinguishes Alnus from Bitula. So this unique species, which has doubly serrate toothed dark green elliptic leaves is large species and very long-lived Betula. It can live up to 150 years. And tree is favored by many birds to build the nesting. So nesting you can see. Many birds prefer to have nesting on the top twigs. This bark you can see. It has yellow color. Because of this yellow color, birch has been named as the yellow birch. And sometimes in mature trees, this bark has the fragrance of wintergreen oil as well, so it is aromatic bark. So inner bark is having this characteristic bark color yellow. So earlier this species was named as Betula lutea. Francois Mecox was the worker scientist who named it as Betula lutea. But since that he has named this species earlier as Excelsa, and later another worker named it as Allegheniensis. That proved legitimate name, and earlier names Betula lutea was declared illegitimate. So presently accepted name is Betula Allegheniensis. But common name yellow birch or Pila Bhojpatra still remains. So one unique thing which I have found in the selection of plants growing near to these birches is as per the natural habitat. The eastern hemlock has been planted very near to Betula Allegheniensis because this is the natural associate of the Betula Allegheniensis. So both trees, this is Betula Allegheniensis and this is Tsuga canadensis, eastern hemlock, growing side by side. So natural forest composition has also been taken into consideration while planting different tree species near to birches. Another tree which is also associate of Betula Allegheniensis, that is elder, as we find even in Jammu and Kashmir and Himalayas. Betula utilis has associate tree Alnus nitida. So here is another Alnus species which is natural associate of Betula Allegheniensis yellow birch, and this unique Alnus is Alnus incana, subspecies rugosa. It has the woody cones and it is endless.
Let's do a couple rounds of giant tree and then sea dash, okay?
I just plucked one leaf of Bitula alleganiensis and smelt it. So it also smells like the wintergreen. So it is aromatic tree and long-lived tree, useful in lumber industry and also source of medicinal oil. Various birches, they are also useful for the extraction of Bitula syrup like the maple syrup. And in nature, as the maples also grow along with birches, so here in this vegetation, the Lincoln Park Zoo, Chicago, has also planted those trees which are natural associates apart from this elder tree that is Elnus in Kana. So you see the birches don't have these woody cones, cone like female catkins, whereas the male catkins are very similar to Bitula. This is the male catkin of elder Elnus in Kana, but woody cones separate them from Bitula. But since in natural forest they grow together, so here also they are planted close to each other. So whatever natural associations, they are not distorted. So this is another, this is Elnus, but planted very near to Bitula alleganiensis. So leaves will turn golden yellow during late autumn, but some leaves have already started turning yellow. Not only Suga canadensis is an associate of Bitula alleganiensis, but even hop hornbeam, Astraea virginiana, is also. So even that tree stands planted here. So this has typical hops like fruiting structures. So it is named in popular English as hop hornbeam, Bitulaceae. All these trees belong to the same family. Astraea virginiana or hop hornbeam. This one. So its leaf is also looking very similar to Bitula alleganiensis. But bark is quite different, as it is showing vertical strips. It is vertically fissured, and even leaf shape is different. For example, we have these two leaves. This leaf is of hop hornbeam. That is Astraea, not a Bitula, but Bitula is this one. This is Bitula. And if you put together you can see the difference. Left one is Astraea and right one is Betula. But you need to examine the bark, which is aromatic in case of Betula. Not aromatic in case of Australia. And there are many other features, floral characteristics, which put these plants in different genera. And so, although this is also a member of Betulaceae, and even Alus is from Betulaceae, and even Australia. But despite the trees are in the same family, they have different floral and vegetative features, and they are treated under different genera. So this one is Australia, not a Betula.